Know that it is safety. Know that.
Hi, my name is Alicia and welcome to my YouTube channel. Thank you for subscribing, liking, and sharing. This is my first video. And so for the first video, I wanted to take a moment to introduce you to myself and explain a little bit about why I'm here. Again, my name is Alicia. I am 40 years old. I live in Philly. I have lived in Philly for the past 10 years. Came to Philly at a turning point in my life. I needed some change and got a new job that brought me here. And I've been here ever since. I moved here from Richmond, Virginia. I went to college in Richmond, started at VCU as a freshman in 2003 and was in Richmond until I moved to Philly 10 years ago. Prior to being in Richmond, I was in Norfolk, Virginia with my family. I did part of elementary school, middle school, and high school in Norfolk. Before Norfolk, I did part of elementary school in Virginia Beach. I consider myself from Virginia, although I was not born and raised in Virginia. I spent my formative years there. My father is retired Navy, so Virginia was the last naval base that he was stationed at. Prior to that, my family, moved around quite a bit. My parents are from Youngstown, Ohio, born and raised. I am also born in Youngstown, but did not live there for a significant amount of time. But go Bucks, and you'll hear about a lot of that during college football season. So, okay, why am I here? Meaning, like, why am I creating this channel? Well, another big moment in my life passed. Last year, I turned 40. You probably heard people talk about how transformative 40 is. And I'm going to tell you the same thing. So, here we are. But my version of 40 and why I'm here might be a little bit different than others' version. So then someone else's version, which is my mother was diagnosed with breast cancer at the age of 40. She passed away at the age of 45. So as you can imagine, turning 40 last year was a big moment for me. It was met with a lot of sadness, grief, anger, moments of joy, but also a realization that my mother was extremely young when she was diagnosed and when she passed. And I knew that, but I was 28 years old when she passed away. And I don't know that I fully understood how young she was. And now that I am sitting at 40 thinking about, what if that were me? What are the things that, my mother missed out on, the things that I could have missed out on and that I haven't tackled. And don't get me wrong, I do things. I spent 3 months in Ghana, which I'll talk about probably one day. I have traveled for work quite a bit. I had a breast reduction last year, actually this year. I'll talk about that later. But there's one thing that I've always wanted to do that I have not gotten the guts to tackle, which is write my first novel. I'm an avid reader, which I'll talk about as well. I spent a lot of my childhood, reading and writing at our family's computer. And I've always wanted to write a book. I started a book while I was in Ghana, put that book down. But this book is the book I'm supposed to write. And I know that because of some events that have happened in my life, which I will also explain in a later video. But it's time. It's time for me to move past the fear. It's time for me to jump 100% into this process. And just in general, I want to use this platform and I wanted to use this time with you all for telling stories, right? I think all of our lives are worth telling. There are stories within our everyday living that I think are important to share. Unlike previous generations, we have a digital platform that we can use, and thinking of it as a way to archive our moments And I think, just mundane moments are worth sharing, and as well as contributing to a larger story about you, larger story about your family, just a larger story about life. So I consider this a point of sharing, storytelling. I love stories. I have a journalism degree and an African American studies degree. My mom nicknamed me Inch High Private Eye as a kid because she said I left nothing uncovered, okay? The Harriet the Spy type vibes. So I brought a lot of that, my curiosity for life. My curiosity, has served me well just in life in general. It's allowed me to try things. It's worked well for me in interpersonal relationships. It's worked really well for me when it comes to work. So I'm not someone who's like scared to try new things. That's not necessarily what this channel, what I'm bringing and sharing with you is, because, I am a yoga instructor. I take pole classes. So like I'm living, right? But I'm also realizing that like I could do more living and I can do more sharing. So that's why I'm here. I'm here to share. I'm here to, bring you stories from the book that I'm writing. It's a work of historical fiction. So there's a lot of, true events that are going to end up in the book. And there are a lot of things that aren't going to end up in the book. And I want to share those things because I think they're important. Like going into the archives. I took a trip to DC, up to the Library of Congress, got my library card. So yeah, there's just a lot of little tidbits that I want to be able to leave with you all. But I also want you guys to share with me. I want this to be, a two-way yapping conversation. So I'm taking up this video. This video pretty much is like 10 days or so in my life, starting with a walk with the 5 Mile Walk Club. And I love this club. I love what they stand for. The people in it are great. And it's a really nice way to kick off my week. So thank you. Welcome once again. Please get comfortable. And don't forget to subscribe. I am on my way to a Sunday walk. I walk with a group called 5 Mile Walk Club on Sundays. Usually we walk a little bit later, but this weather has been so crazy. Like the heat it's going to be a really hot week in Philly. And so we moved up the time, which is good. They walked at the original time. They usually walk Saturday and Sundays. I usually only join on Sundays. And they walked at the original time yesterday and people were like, it's hot. So I'm walking with them. I love this group because it's so diverse. Women, men, kids, families, and also like, I like to walk and I'm trying to get back to running, but the long run, like we do 5 miles. By myself, I'm probably not gonna do 5 miles. I usually do like 3.5. But at least I know at least once a week I'll get in a longer walk. And so right now what I'm trying to do is I do a mix of gym, strength training, and then cardio. And honestly, mentally, I really prefer the gym right now. And it used to be that I preferred running and walking. And so I find it hard to get in long cardio days just because I'd rather be in the gym with weights. So I am happy to get in 5 miles. And when you're with the group, it goes a lot faster. And it's like I'm dedicating myself to being in a certain place at a certain time, doing this thing and just busting it out. And so I really, appreciate that. So I'm gonna get my 5 miles in today. I'm gonna go to the grocery store and grab a couple of things for meal prep. And I'm probably gonna chill most of the day because it's gonna be blazing outside. I think starting tomorrow, we're starting with 100 degrees. So, when it's that hot, like, what can you do? Like, what is there for you to do when it's that hot outside? Like, seriously. So, yeah, and even right now, I think, it's 80 degrees. It's not even 8 o'clock in the morning. So, we're in the sun. I mean, there's clouds out, but by 10:30, 11, it's a wrap for outside. Club. So glad I have them. So glad I found them. The next video is just a gym car ride. Basically some chatting on the way to the gym. I'm talking a little bit about how I am starting to like organize my writing sessions. And one of the things you'll hear me say is I'm starting to talk about things out loud. And which is not typical for me. I tend to hold a lot of things in, you know. And so I've been sharing with people in my life that I'm writing this book and why. And also been sharing the plot with them. And folks have been very interested in the plot, which makes me excited. I also, a few months ago in the winter, joined a writing club here at a local bookstore called Uncle Bobby's in Germantown. That gave me a lot of confidence too, you know, sitting around in small groups, like talking to people about what they're writing and using that time to write. That also kind of, you know, really inspired me to get where I'm at today. So in this clip, you'll hear me talk about a tip that I actually got from a coworker of all people. And so I know folks are always like, so I don't want to make friends with coworkers. I'm not like that for the most part. Like, you know, there's camaraderie at work. I have made friends at work. So not that big of a deal, but in sharing pieces of our lives, you know what I mean? Like, you know, we're still human beings. And I don't, you know, if you don't want to share with your coworkers and you don't want to make friends at work, I get it. There's boundaries, right? You're always going to have boundaries at work. But, you know, this is something that's important to me. And the tip that he gave me was chef's kiss. So check out that tip. The book. One thing, I was talking to my coworker of all people about writing this book, and I was telling him how I'm struggling to get a schedule down, and he was like, well, why don't you use your gym time to ideate on the book and then scribble down a couple pages after you're done? It might not seem like a lot, but at least you'll have a couple pages. And I was like, look at you being smart. Which, respect to him, because I told him, like, I'm finally telling people I'm writing this book. And again, I'm here because I want to hold myself accountable. I take my Oxy shred on the way to the gym. I'm trying to hold myself accountable. And the way that I do that is I'm like somebody, like, I know myself. I know that, like, if I keep it to myself, that's not enough motivation. But if I tell other people I'm going to do it, I'm going to get it done, which is crazy. Like, actually, it's half backwards. But I tell somebody I'm going to do something, and then I'm more apt to actually getting that ish done. So telling people out loud that I'm doing this book, and they can ask me about it or whatever, to me is also holding myself accountable. So I think that is a fantastic idea. There are places in my gym to sit and work. And so if I get in a good 45 minutes to an hour, well, actually I do an hour to an hour and a half, depending if I add cardio. That's actually a fantastic idea. So I brought my iPad and I brought a notebook, and, you know, I'm a AirPods girl. I listen to my music, but that doesn't mean I can't use that as thinking time. So this is going to be my experiment for starting today, is how much can I get done in terms of writing this book, you know, during these little moments of time, right? Like an hour, using my hour lunch break to do a little bit of writing or reading, jotting down notes, and then creating a schedule for longer writing days. It's summertime, so I'm also fighting the urge to want to be outside and doing other things. So I need to start to stick with a schedule, and I think Sundays are gonna have to be it after I do my walk with the walk club. So that's where I'm at. Gym done, third week of progressive overload, and like I just feel like I'm getting stronger. Like, also, like, doing this progressive overload has taught me that I've been in the gym BSing, and I need to stop BSing. I need to stop BSing, but it feels good. Also, I got done with the gym. Excuse me, I got done with my workout and I went directly into the cafe area of the gym, took out my iPad, took out my notebook. Only did 15 minutes, but 15 minutes is better than nothing. So my coworker who gave me that suggestion to use like 15 to 30 minutes after my gym time to write, chef's kiss. Like, let's see if I can keep that up all mother effing week, which means I gotta get my butt into that gym at a certain time. I'm usually at the latest getting to the gym at 6:30. Today I got to the gym at like 6:15, did like a 10-minute warm up and just got down to business. Now I didn't do any cardio today. And I might just walk on the treadmill at home, at the home gym. But yeah, this was my gym jam today. Anything goes in the gym for your gym playlist, like, and this is gonna make a good pole song, so you'll be seeing this song again. Okay, so I've been wanting, so I work from home. That's just an FYI. I've worked from home for a really long time, well before COVID. In fact, the first job that I took that brought me here to Philly was a work from home job, and that was 10 years ago. Ever since then, I have worked from home. I finally kind of like redid my office, and I'm actually not finished with it. Maybe one day I'll show it once I get it together. But now I have a standing desk, and so my adventures with Facebook Marketplace are in the next clip, and then I am actually on my way to pole class in this clip, so enjoy. So my first time trying to use Facebook Marketplace was a complete failure. And you know what? I'm just gonna go and buy the walking pad, because all this to use Facebook Marketplace, like the guy told me the time today. I sent him a message telling him I was on my way. He didn't respond. I shouldn't have left the house until he responded. That was on me. So I'm a little agitated. Because I don't like, I like the idea of Facebook Marketplace, but I don't like all the ripping and running and all this figuring out. Like, I don't like it. And I just want a walking pad. And I saw the price. He had a point for like $65. They're about $300. I had seen some a couple weeks ago, and they're gone on Facebook Marketplace. So I went looking yesterday, and so I'm just gonna buy one. I'm gonna buy one and get it shipped, and just let that be that. I have a standing desk. I have the right setup for it, and so I love my standing desk. It's crazy how long it took me to put it together. I got it from Costco. I'm not really good at putting stuff together, so I rarely try, because it's just not, my brain don't work that way. But I went on YouTube and learned how to put desks together. So there is that. I just finished listening to a podcast who has one of my favorite thinkers on there, Tressie McMillan Cottom, and it's giving me a lot of food for thought. She's always like, she's so good. These people just driving crazy. She's always so good. I'll have to link the episode. Maybe I'll just talk about the episode a little bit later when I'm like stationary and not driving. I'm just trying to pick up a couple things for poll tonight. I'm a little tired. I get to the end of the week and the fatigue definitely kicks in. But yeah, I'm gonna order my walking pad, because all that for this man to stand me up, and it was my fault. I should not have left the house, because when I said I was on my way and he didn't answer, and I didn't stay long. I ain't even gonna hold you. I didn't wait long. When he didn't answer, it took me 15 minutes to get there, and he didn't answer. And then I pulled up. It was like, oh, are you turning or what, lady? What are you doing? I should have known he was gonna play in my face, you know. So I'm gonna take this L. I'm gonna take this L, and I'm gonna take and spend my money because it's what I want, and I've been thinking about it for a long time. Because I don't have time. I don't have time for this. I don't like the ripping and running stuff. I know it's better for the environment and you know, just to reuse and not buying and all this and all that. Like I know these things, but I don't have time. I really, really do not have time to people be playing with me. And so I'm gonna order my walking pad, and it should be here next week sometime. Oh, actually, I don't know, the holiday is coming up, but either way, he played in my face. And unless he's gonna bring it to me, which I need my eyebrows done. My eyebrows done. I'm getting my lashes done next week, thank God, because I'm gonna get my eyebrows done tomorrow, so we'll solve that. I did wash my hair. I used the Do's Chief Rocka, which I sat in the dryer, and then I stretched it out a little bit with some bands. But then this morning I went in and put honey dip over it, which I think I prefer honey dip. I think honey dip is for me. I prefer pomades. That's just the reality of it. I prefer pomades over mousses. Well, it's a gel. It's supposed to be a gel, but it's like it dries down like a pomade. And I think my curls, you see in the sun, curls come out a little bit better. I left this one in. I'm gonna take it out tomorrow. But yeah. Next up, we have the Hike and Heal Beach trip. So I teach yoga with a group that goes by the name Hike and Heal. It's a women's wellness group centered around hikes, but the group provides so much more. Brandy, the founder, is amazing. She's put together a wonderful organization that brings women from Delaware, New Jersey, and Philly together to go on hikes, field trips like this beach day, international group trips like we're going to Morocco in September, so I'll be excited to share that trip with you guys there as well. And yeah, I started teaching a sunset yoga class with Hike and Heal like 3 years ago. We do it out in the park. It's a great intro to yoga type of class. And then we have things like this beach day. So we had a really good time at our beach day. Drove down to a beach in New Jersey that has a boardwalk. We went on a 3.5 mile walk together. Then we had a whole beach hangout. And we ended it with the silent book club. So everybody brought a book. And we all, read for like half an hour, and then we got together and talked about the book, let people know what we're reading. And so I introduced everyone to a project that I'm working on, my own little project, which is I'm going back and revisiting some of the books that I read at a younger age to kind of see how they resonate as a 40-year-old woman. So I talk about, right now I'm reading The Joy Luck Club. So I talked a little bit about that in our silent book club. So you'll get a bit of our beach day with Hike and Heal. I'll be talking more about Hike and Heal as we go on, because it's a big part of my life. And, you know, again, being curious led me to finding this group, deciding I wanted to, you know, meet new people. So that will actually end the video, my first vlog here on YouTube. So I hope you enjoyed. Please feel free to leave comments under the video. If you have questions, happy to answer them. And yeah, continue to follow along with me and my journey, and make sure you subscribe to my channel. Thanks. Bye. Hi, it's Friday. Thank goodness we made it. I'm actually packing for a beach trip. I look a mess because I went to the gym, and then I went to BJ's to pack for this beach trip. I have my glass of wine as my motivation. $4, Ohio State, and I bought this little beach tote here. It's kind of cute. Okay, so here's a look at the snacks I'm bringing. I bought these cute little like compartment snack boxes from Amazon like a long time ago. So I've got cherries, strawberries, peanut butter, kiwi, a Honeycrisp apple. I've got these olives from Trader Joe's. The gummies are from Trader Joe's. If you haven't tried these trail mix crackers, it sounds like the craziest combo. So you have mung beans, seeds, cashews, raisins, and cheese. It sounds crazy, but when I tell you, with a little bit of pepper jack cheese or cheddar cheese, fire. Then I've got these strawberry bars and this hummus snack pack. I'll have a little cooler, mini cooler. Here's like the little Trader Joe's mini cooler that's gonna come in handy that I'm gonna pack. And then I have the little snack boxes come with a fork and a spoon, and I'm gonna put them in the bag with my my reusable straw that I'm bringing with me, because I'm bringing a can of Reed's ginger ale. So, and I have some Skinny Pop, and I'm gonna make some tuna fish roll-ups, because I'll have something to keep stuff cold. So yeah, this is my little beach snack pack, and probably an energy drink too for the drive home, and some water. But yeah, this is beach, getting my beach snackies together. Okay, I am packed up. I'm making good time to get to the beach. It's a little rainy in Philly now. We're going to a beach in New Jersey with Hike and Heal, which is a wellness group that I joined. I started participating in when I moved to Philly many years ago. I guess it was like 6 years now. I was looking for community, things to do, getting out of the house, and went on a couple hikes with the group. And now I teach yoga with the group. And so Randy, who is the founder, organizes, you know, hikes around the city, trips out of the country, wellness events. There's a membership, and so within the membership, the community gets opportunities to go on trips like, you know, the beach trip that we're going on today, you know, exclusive wellness and sort of fitness events. And it's just a good way to meet new people. I have never traveled. I never lived anywhere as an adult outside of Virginia until I moved to Philly. And so, you know, it was the process of like starting over everything. Nail shop, hair shop, you know, like friends, you know, finding places and spaces and things to do. And so, you know, Hike and Heal has, you know, filled in the gap. And I've been able to, you know, meet people, participate in things, to the point where I'm teaching yoga with the group, which I never would have imagined. Okay, I made it to the beach, pulled my twists out a little bit. My memory is so bad these days. Like, why did I bring the cooler without the ice in it? I'm blaming it on perimenopause. That's what I'm blaming, because I don't understand. Like, I'm a smart person, but the lack of like connecting the dots lately, Like, it's a little ridiculous. Also, the sun has not come out yet. It's humid though, but coolish. And I did not bring a jacket, which I shouldn't have done. I did bring a blanket, so I'll have that. But this weather has been so nuts. We've had 300-degree days, and now we're cloudy and coolish. Send the flood. Send the flood. Send the flood. But let me get out of the car and get myself together, because, yeah, and go on this walk. I also have to use the bathroom. It's another thing. My bladder is tore up. My bladder is tore up mostly because I had 20-something fibroids taken out years ago, and my bladder never recovered from the pressure that I put. So I pee a lot, and it's embarrassing because I always have to stop. And so group activities, you know, I don't know. And I don't do myself any service because I keep holding it like a child. So I'm not making things any better. But yeah, like, all right, let's go. Yes. So I decided I have a summer reading stack, and a few years ago in my 30s, I reread The Color Purple. I had read it as a child, had seen it because my mother had it. I basically read my mother's books. When she was reading, I was reading. So I read The Color Purple as a kid, and then I reread it in my 30s, and it was a life-changing experience in my 30s. There was a lot that I did not grasp in that book as a tween reading it. And most certainly, if you have seen the movie, you should read the book, because there's a lot more texture to the book and the conversation and what Alice Walker was trying to say that never showed up in the movie. So if you love The Color Purple, the movie, the book is even better, and it's even better reading it as an adult. And so I decided that my summer reading would be going back and reading all of the books, well, not all of them, a set of books that I read as a teenager or in my 20s and 30s as a 40-year-old woman, and trying to understand, see if there's any difference in how I interpret the book.
Know that it is taking. No.